Hey there fans, followers, subscribers, people that came across this video randomly on YouTube. One thing we have in common is that we love skating and we love to get better at it. I spent my entire life trying to understand skating and perfect skating. It brought me through 3 Olympic games, got me an Olympic medal, and now on this YouTube I'm sharing that knowledge with all of you so that you can try and facilitate that road to good skating. I do get a lot of questions from adult inliners or people getting into the sport when they're adults. It is a lot harder than when you're a kid. It does not mean you can't become good at skating. It's just a different route and some different exercises and drills that you would have to do in order to get there. And in this video, I'm gonna go through all of those, what I think is the best practice, the best skills to develop as an adult entry inline skater. Now, the first thing we would need to keep in mind here is that when you are older, it's simply just harder learning new things, which is also why a lot of adult skaters will find it a little more frustrating because it does not come as naturally to you. And also very often we're scared of new things the older we get, simply because we understand the risks of skating. It's a risk that you can crash. It's a given that you're gonna do things that are far outside your comfort zone. We are made to walk, we're made to run. We're not made to push sideways on thin wheels or blades if you do ice skating, but that doesn't mean we can't become good at it. So one thing I see way too often in adult skaters is that we simply just go for the mileage and don't attribute enough dedication and patience with it, technically speaking. Therefore, I think a general rule before we go into these specific drills is to have a good training plan where you do not neglect the importance of technique and also how fresh you're actually gonna be to really improve your technique. So if you just go out there on day one, try and skate a marathon, it's gonna get real sloppy. You might get fitter, but there is a ceiling to how fit you can get. Trust me, I'm aware of that. I've done everything I can to get fit, and every single time it comes down to, oh, all good skaters are fit. The difference is in the technique. Therefore, a great rule of thumb is even if you wanna get those minutes and hours in on your skates, just do small breaks in between. Of course, you can have some race simulation sessions, but instead of just going for an hour, how about going for 30 times 2 minutes where you do a little back stretch and relax a little, get your heart rate down for 10, 20 seconds, and that'll make you so much more focused for that entire session. You can sit lower, sit in a powerful position, and skate better. I have made a bunch of training plans that I'll put in the description of this video. You can download those, or you can even have a free preview. They're $50, and then you have lifetime access, whether you want to follow those down to the daily practice, or if you just want to take, the best of them and use some of the workouts to get better at skating. I think both of those can work really well, so take a look at that. But for now, let's just dive into these specific drills and exercises. One of the hardest things about skating is how much coordination you need and also how much agility you would need. Good technique, I've explained that in hundreds of videos here on my YouTube channel, but there is so much more to it than that. There is the ability to execute good technique, and that takes skills, that takes coordination, that takes balance, that takes agility, and those things are hard to acquire when you're an adult. And that's why we're gonna focus on those in these 6 exercises that I think are the 6 exercises you should do the most as an adult skater. You don't need any equipment. I brought these cones here, but that's simply just to make it easier for you to see the exercises and understand them as I'm doing them in this video. Simply just start by listing the skills you need as an adult trying to become good at skating. Some of these are given when you're a child, but when you are a little older, these are things you actively need to acquire. The first of them is movement. You need to be able to just play around on your skates and steer in every direction. It seems simple, but it's so much harder when you're on skates. If you constantly spend energy and time to make these things happen, to steer skates, to feel the pressure, to get on the edges, this has to become natural. Otherwise, making skating smooth, continuous, and effortless is super difficult. So the movements need to be good and smooth. The next one is the balance. Obviously, you need good balance. If you use all your time and energy stabilizing, it will not go into the ground and you're not gonna go faster. Positioning your weight on the skates. No matter how strong you are, if you push with nothing but muscle strength in every push, that's gonna tire you out really fast. and it's also gonna slide on the top of the tarmac and not actually get in there through the wheels down into the ground. So using your weight to create the speed is super important. And this comes down to a lot of timing, which leads me to my next point, the coordination. Ending a push at the right time in the right way and taking over by the next push right when needed to get the most out of your body weight. And then the final one, the one I personally spend the most time, even at an elite level, figuring out is the position and keeping that position when you're tired, when stuff's going on, when there's the pressure of a turn, or you have to accelerate, decelerate, having a perfect skating position. So this is obviously much easier said than done for me to just throw these at you. Therefore, of course, this whole point of this video is to give you some specific exercises that can help you get there. And the first of these is what I call the crisscross. This is just an exercise where you do continuous crossovers. You don't have to do them in a super low position, but just doing these will help you play around with your edges. And you will notice as you do it, maybe even subconsciously, that you are playing with your edges, but also timing your body weight to take over on the next leg right as you get there. At first, this is almost just a challenge of daring to do this, but once you get better, you can do it with more flow, speed, and movement, and in a correct skating position. And it's a great exercise that can grow with you. Almost every adult skater I speak to that are going into these lower skates or skating for really long efforts, say a marathon, they have struggles with their ankles. Some simply can't position them right on top of their skates. This is difficult, especially in low-cut boots, or some fatigue over the course of a race, and that'll be the weak link. You need to both be able to maneuver your ankles, steer your ankles, and also have the strength to do it for a long time. Many ways to do this. One of my favorites is simply just do your warm-up, your cool-down with untied skates. Uncomfortable, hard, but it will get you so much stronger in no time. Another one is this drill, going from toe to heel, toe to heel. If it's too easy, you can play around with doing it on just one skate, but obviously take it at your own speed and level. Now next one, very basic, the weight transfer. This is at the same time a position exercise, but it's also a weight transfer exercise. You simply drift your weight from one leg to the other, feeling it gradually going over there. And then at the end of it, you do a lift here. The more control you can do that lift, the better. But this is just really to show you like how it feels to go from one skate to the other in a smooth manner where you're not kicking off and landing on it, but where it's a transition just like that. And also being able to be fully one-legged and comfortable in that skating position is huge in skating. Edges, slalom, figure it out. Good skating is smooth edges. You miss half of the push if you can't do the outside push part of it. This doesn't mean you need to do the double push. Obviously, that is the fastest skating technique there is. But as a start, you really just need to be able to go from inside to outside. So this slalom exercise is simple, not necessarily easy, and you can just keep speeding up, getting in the low position when it gets easier. And here is the final position exercise where we take that skating position, the 90-degree knee angle, and we put that to actual use and we test it in movement. So many people can do that position. It's not that hard. You can train it on shoes, or you stand down here in the 90-degree, but then once we're out skating, it flies around, and when we push off, we fly up. So this exercise where we really stand in that position and then learn to go from two legs to one leg, look down at yourself, maybe even record yourself, and see that nothing changes. The knee doesn't go in, out, you don't tilt forward, backward, you keep that same position. If you can do a perfect position but you can't skate with it, it's not worth much. So this exercise is the final one that I would do if I was just new-ish to skating. Of course, after doing all these drills, you still need to add some actual skating to it. Some long skates, some fast skates, and especially some group skates, because all events will be in groups. If you go to the Berlin Marathon, the North Shore Marathon, you're gonna skate in a big bunch of people. That can be scary, but it can also be extremely helpful with the draft and using each other to simply go faster. Therefore, find people to skate with. And also, the easiest way to really learn technique is to imitate a good skater. Whether you do that with my videos here or someone out there in person, in front of you, next to you, or that you can just look at skating around on a track like that, try and make that happen. Those are the drills that I had for you guys here today. Feel free to comment if you have any questions. Also, follow me on my OnlyFans. It's a lot of skating content and more specific things like these. So I hope you want to follow there. And check out those training plans. I put a lot of effort into them, and I think they can help a lot of people. So obviously I love to share that with you guys, and hope you want to click subscribe and stay tuned for more videos. Let me know what you want to see. This is what I spend my off season when I'm not chasing my 4th Olympic Games and hopefully changing a silver medal to a gold one day in the future. This is what I do and I love it. So, so just, yeah, grateful you guys want to be part of that. Have fun in the skates out there, and I hope to see you on a road, at a race, somewhere in the real world eventually.